Hello, word nerds. So we have a sentence today from the book Blizzard. We're actually reading several books with a similar name this week, but this one is the fiction version of the book. So the sentence says, "By the time my sister and I got home, the snow was already over our boots." If we look at the punctuation, it is a period, so that means it's either going to be declarative or imperative, which is that command statement. So we have to make a decision. Is this just a normal statement, or is somebody telling somebody to do something? And they're not telling anybody to do something. So it's our old tried and true declarative sentence. All right, and now we are going to look for the nouns in the sentence. So those are our people, places, and things. It is interesting in this sentence, though, that there is one that looks like it could be a noun because we think of it as a place. And I'll go ahead and give you a hint. It's the word home, but we're actually going to use a different part of speech for home. So don't get tripped up by that one when I skip it later or in just a second. Then maybe you could even consider what part of speech it might be. By the time my sister, sister is a person, so it's a noun, and I got home, we're going to use a different part of speech for that one. The snow, snow's a thing, was already over our boots. All right, boots, and there's more than one, so it's going to be considered a plural noun. There's not just one boot, there's multiple. Okay. So now we're going to look for our action words. Our action words are considered verbs. So by the time my sister and I got home, okay, got is an action. The snow was already, was, just like got. So give, were, was already over our boots. Okay, and over, some of you might be thinking, oh, well, that's an action because it's, well, actually, it's kind of positioning things. We'll get to that in a second. So let's think about any of the describing words. There aren't any just clear-cut adjectives, but there are some adverbs in here. So, I just realized I skipped a noun on accident. Time. Time is not a thing you can see. It's not a concrete noun, but it is an abstract noun. It's something that's invisible that's a thing. Sorry, I just realized I forgot that one. By the time my sister and I got home. Okay, so home, I told you earlier we were not going to consider it a place in this sentence because it's deeply connected to the word got. So how these two are connecting is because home is describing where they were arriving. Oh no, I'm starting to doubt myself on that one. God. Yeah, you know what? It's because they didn't go to a store and grab a house, right? It's describing where, and it's describing where did they get? They got home. Okay, there we go. I'm back on track. Sorry. Sometimes it is good to question yourself, though, even when you're confident. Not too much, but just a little bit. So the reason why we picked adverb for that one is because where did they get? They got home. It's the where. The snow was already. Okay, so already is also showing us kind of like a timing word with the word was. Was already. So it was a timing. So here it was where, here it's a when. And then the when is describing was, and the home is describing got. So already is also an adverb. Over our boots. Okay, so now we can look for the other parts of speech. We see the articles the in there a couple of times, so we're going to go ahead and write article over the and article over the. Remember, articles are the words a, and, or the. So we have by, my, and I over our. So but some of you realize there are some pronouns where it replaces the names. It doesn't say the sister's name. It says my sister. So this is a pronoun, and because it's showing ownership, whose sister is it? It's their sister. It's considered a possessive pronoun because it's showing that the sister belongs to the person who's speaking. And same thing with the word our. It's showing ownership of the boots. Whose boots were they? They were the people in the books. So we're going to consider our a possessive pronoun too. Pronoun. And then we have I is a pronoun. Okay, so that leaves us with by, and over. And is a coordinating conjunction. It's one of our fanboys. And in this case, the coordinating conjunction is not combining two independent clauses, because if we look before, it says by the time my sister, and after that says I got home, the snow was already over our boots. Though that and is not combining those as two independent clauses. That's actually not at all what it's doing. It's just showing the list of the people. So it's combining the two people into a list. And then the word over, we already talked about how that's positioning. It's positioning the snow to the boots. So this is our preposition. And then the only word left is by. So by is also a conjunction. It's the type of conjunction we haven't talked about nearly as much as we've talked about coordinating conjunctions. Why? Honestly, just because they're harder to identify. Fanboys, it's easy. We've got a quick little list. Those are exactly the words. Subordinating conjunctions, their specific task is to combine a dependent clause and an independent clause together. So the dependent clause is the part of the sentence that can't be by itself. So if I took this part down, because the comma is right here, so that's showing some split. It says, by the time my sister and I got home. Okay, if I just walked up to you and said, by the time my sister and I got home, you'd say, the what? That doesn't tell you everything you need to know. And in fact, it's just giving additional information for the independent clause. And the independent clause is the second part right here. If I didn't include this first part, and I just said the snow was already over our boots. Okay, I gave you a subject, I gave you a predicate, everything makes sense. This part is just, actually I think I'm going to circle it. Ooh. That part is the dependent clause. It cannot be by itself. And the one on the bottom is the independent clause. It can be by itself. And the word that I'm writing is actually saying is clause. That's not even like Santa Claus. And it's not like claws like dinosaur claws. So it's not clause, and it's not clause. Yeah, definitely not that one either. It's its own word, clause. And we said that this one, it's called subordinating. Actually, it's one of the roots this week. Sub means under or below. So this dependent clause would technically, now physically it's not below, but it's saying that it's less important. Like if we were trying to put in order of what's most important for the listener to hear, it would be that the snow is already over our boots. Because you could just say, by the time my sister and I got home. That can't be by itself. So technically, it's under the more important independent clause right here. So that's why we call them subordinating conjunctions, because sub means under and ord is talking about numbers or order. So if that helps you understand why they're a little bit different. Now there is a phrase like fanboys for subordinating conjunctions, which I have linked in the ELA Stations to Practice through IXL and watching YouTube videos. So you can definitely learn more about subordinating conjunctions, and you should be this week. But the phrase that you can actually use for subordinating conjunctions to try to remember them is on a white bus. But the problem is the phrase on a white bus, there's multiple representations of each letter sometimes. So what I mean by that is, like on fanboys, it's 4 This video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry. Like with your fanboys, it's for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. And those are the only ones that they can represent. But on a white bus, it's kind of like the fanboys version, but there might be like 3 words that work here, like already and almost and different ones. So it's harder to remember because the list is just longer when it comes to subordinating conjunctions. It's longer. So I do not expect you to memorize all the subordinating conjunctions, but if you do start to notice a dependent clause separated from an independent clause, it's going to help you understand that there's going to be a subordinating conjunction in there. So, okay, that's a lot of information. And you guys are 8, 9, 10 years old. So, love you. I hope this is helpful. But our subject and our predicate, we're going to find those inside of our independent clause. So, we're looking for the action and what's doing the action. So, it was. And what's doing the was? It's the snow. The snow was. All right, and because we've gone through all this trying to figure out this mess, with a dependent clause and an independent clause, that's always going to make a sentence complex. This is only what complex sentences are, is a combination of a dependent clause and an independent clause. And simple is just one independent clause, and a compound sentence is 2 independent clauses. They could both be by themselves, but they're not. They're just in a really long sentence. So anyway, have a great day.